Hello, I'm Jamal Musaiba, an international social etiquette consultant and author of etiquette books. Etiquette, the least you need to know, and afternoon tea etiquette. If you would like to order my books, you can do so directly through my website. I'll link it here as well in the description box below. If you are a new viewer on my channel, here I talk about etiquette, soft skills, self-development. I produce all kinds of educational videos. If you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you're someone who is into etiquette, you can as well join my Patreon Etiquette Movie Club. I do a monthly review on different movies and lessons learned from it. Etiquette as well as general life lessons learned. And if you are a returning viewer, I am delighted as always to see you back on my channel. In today's video, I would like to share you my personal tricks and tips on taking really good pictures, not just for Instagram, but in general for your photo album. A disclaimer before I get started into sharing those tips and tricks, I want to say that I'm not a professional photographer. I was never educated, never trained in that. I don't claim to be, but over the years I have learned the most essential tips that you need to know in order to learn to take good pictures. And I'm just someone who really loves taking pictures, and if you have been following me on Instagram, you know that I love paying attention to a lot of small details. I am into architecture, into buildings, into details, especially into interior design. So I'm someone who has, over the years of taking pictures, improved both my eye and just the technical knowledge in what makes a picture look good. So these are the tips that I've learned over the years, and I'm ready to share with you because they've worked for me and I'm sure they're going to work for you. So first things first, the most important thing that you need to remember when you're taking pictures is the lighting. The lighting is essential. You might be the most gorgeous person and you might look the best that very night, but if the lighting is poor, if there are shadows over you, then there is no way you're going to look good in the picture. The most essential element is the lighting. Imagine it's like a scene, you know, like in a theater or an opera. If there would be no lights, the stage will not be lighted correctly. You will never get to see the beauty of their costumes, the beauty of the stage, of the actors. But with the right kind of lighting that shines on them, that makes them look even better than they would even on a normal occasion look. It is important to ensure that you have the correct lighting, and for that I recommend you use natural light. When people ask me, you know, how did you take this picture, and I say natural light, I always say natural light because that's the only way I love to take pictures. I do sometimes add flash at night if it's evening and you need to, you know, there's really no way you can take a picture without a flash. That's permissible, of course, but try to take your pictures during a daylight. And of course, the best hour for taking pictures is the golden hour. It's when the sun is setting and there's this soft light that comes from the clouds. So the sun is setting down behind the clouds and there's this soft illumination, and that makes the picture really look gold. So if you really want to take the best picture, try to take it during the golden hour. Tip number 2, take a lot of pictures. And I tell you, a lot. You can take 100 pictures and perhaps only 2 or 3 of them will look spectacular. This is something I've actually learned over the years of watching documentaries and reading books about photography. Really, all the greatest photographers in the world, those even Vogue covers that are taken, they take maybe 1,000 different pictures, and the person in front of the camera is moving in really slow motion and doing this micro changes in their body and in their facial expressions and in their hands. And you know, it might be not the 99th, but the 100th picture is really on spot. Do not get disappointed when you take 3 pictures and 3 of them turn bad, because that's normal. And this is usually a meme that goes around on Instagram and TikTok, as when, you know, someone asks their boyfriend to take a picture and they only take 3 and they look at the picture and say it's all bad, because really the technique of getting good picture is getting a lot of them. Do not be scared, because now we have a lot of space on our phones, so it's not as difficult as it used to be with a film camera or Polaroids, when you only had like 10 inside and you really had to be careful with every single shot. In this case, train yourself to take a lot of pictures from all different kind of angles. Don't just take from the same spot. Try to move the phone from different angles to take all different shots as much as possible. And then we come to the third tip, which is curate them. By the word curate, I mean make sure that you go through those pictures that same day and you go through the ones that are really horrible. So you eliminate the ones that are definitely never going to make it. And then leave the rest liked or hearted or just in your album. Take a couple of hours of break. Maybe in 2-3 hours, go back to the ones that you have left and then eliminate again. Eliminate, eliminate, eliminate until you get to the top maybe 3-4 pictures that you really, really loved, and then work on them. With the curation and elimination, one of the most important tips that I've learned over the years of doing it is that when you first look at the pictures and you eliminate all of them, there might be something that you're missing out. So don't rush to delete everything that is in a deleted album. Perhaps after some time, you'll go back to the deleted album and see certain angles that you actually liked. Maybe it wasn't something that you got used to it, so maybe you don't like your profile picture. But really, when you go back to it and you think, oh, this is something I've never done, but it's kind of interesting, like angle, it's a kind of an interesting standpoint. It's an interesting perspective on a thing. So don't rush to eliminate everything at once. I encourage you to do it in 3-4 steps. So for me, I've been taking a lot of pictures for a really long time, and this method has worked in a way that I have learned to love new perspectives on things. I used to only think that I look good in a certain angle at a picture, but over the years of taking pictures from different angles, from different perspectives, and then eliminating them not on the same day that I took them all at once, but really taking the time to curate and eliminate, has given me the opportunity to enjoy the new perspectives and new angles. Try it for yourself and let me know how that works for you. So once you have taken a lot of pictures, you have curated your gallery, you've eliminated the ones that really didn't make the cut, then you have only left the ones that you truly loved, found very beautiful, or the ones that bring this interesting perspective on a thing. Maybe not personally something you personally like, but it's an interesting angle. You've left them all in your gallery. Now it's time to edit. I am someone who's really bad with technology. I really can't understand it. I'm not really good with like filters, and really not good with other applications that really make tremendous change. The only photo editing app that I find very useful and easy to use, so user-friendly so to speak, for those that are not very good with technology, is an app called VSCO. This video, by the way, is not sponsored in any form or shape by them, but it's the app that I find very easy to use. And the main features that I'm using is either flipping the picture or maybe making it more symmetrical, fitting it into a grid, something you can of course do it on your iPhone as well while taking the picture. But then there are the options that I use the most is exposure and contrast. So working on the lighting, how dim I want the light to be, how bright I want it to be. And then the two other options is sharpening or clarity. So something that brings more light or more focus on items in the picture. I get a lot of praiseful comments about my pictures being so crisp, so sharp, and that's because I'm using that sharpening part. But really, I'm not going ever crazy with that. I try to use it very moderately. The best way for me to make the pictures look beautiful is to ensure that I take a good picture at first, so there's really little work to be edited. So that's something I recommend on doing. If you want to take a nice picture, I always suggest use natural light or dim the exposure while taking the picture on your iPhone, and then very little is left to be edited on the app. You can just sharpen it, add a little bit more clarity, and your image will pop. Another tip that I would like to share with you is do not overuse filters. Filters are like trends, they come and go. You know, it might be this season that a certain filter is in fashion and everyone is using it and creating this same kind of color trends in the world. And then once this trend goes away, so this filter trend goes away, now your pictures look outdated. They look like not so stylish anymore as they used to. The example that comes to my mind is some world, travel bloggers that used to really use this really bright filters that made the ocean look so blue, the grass look so green, everything was super bright. 5-6 years ago, a lot of the travel bloggers used that filter, and it was really interesting to look at those images because this was something new. But when you look back at those pictures now, they look a little bit funny to me. They look like they're from a different century. century. So the only filter that I like to use is black and white, because black and white never goes out of fashion. And the reason I often use black and white is because I personally really love the style of black and white pictures, but also because sometimes there are certain things that I don't want to be noticed. For example, maybe a mirror can have certain stains, or maybe my outfit might be a little bit too tight on me and I don't want the silhouette to be seen too much. Then I use black and white so that it's not really popping in your eyes. So my best advice would be avoid filters if you can, but if you have to use a filter, then go for some classical ones that are black and white. They never go out of fashion. And my final advice for taking good pictures is making sure that you train your eyes at looking at images and training your eyes to see beauty, to see images, to see symmetry, to see a frame. Eye or training is almost like any other instrument. You have to teach it how to see things. The best way to train your eyes is to look at some of the great photographs taken by greatest photographers, watching movies. Movies are really great, seeing a scene, capturing a moment. Pinterest is a great way of training your eye. I personally really love scrolling through Pinterest because I love looking at different inspirational mood boards, creating those, and Pinterest is really very curated. It's unlike Instagram and TikTok. It's really just the pictures and images, so it could be a great way to start training your eyes. Magazines, you know, we don't have unfortunately a lot nowadays, but a lot of the magazines are not that good in terms of their photography, but certain magazines like Monocle could be really good at helping you see the beautiful sides or beautiful images. Again, the internet is full of really nicely curated images and you can look at those. Going to museums is very important, to exhibitions, watching different kind of art pieces. Concerts as well could be a good way of training your eye to see a scene, to see a stage, to see how it's set up. So all these tools are great for enhancing your understanding of a frame and of a beautiful image. The more you look at, the more your eye is going to be able to capture those moments around you. And like in any skill that you're trying to acquire, in anything that you want to work on, the most important thing is practice. Practice as much as you can. Thankfully, we all now have cameras, iPhones, we have everything at our hand, so we really don't have to acquire any kind of expensive photo cameras in order to learn photography. You can just use your iPhone and ensure that throughout the day you take 10, 20, up to you really how many images, and then try to curate them throughout the day. And that way you're going to teach yourself to take a good picture and also teach yourself to stop, appreciate a beauty, see a frame, see an image, and take it. The more you do it, the better off you're going to be at taking amazing pictures. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. Please do let me know in the comment section below what are some of your personal tips and tricks in taking good pictures. And if any of these tips that I have provided you have been helpful, please do let me know. Thank you for watching this video until the very end, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!